me now to discuss is Turning Point USA spokesperson Andrew Kolvet, one of Charlie Kirk's best friends and executive producer. Andrew, my God, this is like a glitch in the left matrix, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking, actually. You know, a lot of people say, you know, I'm not shocked about something, you know, nothing shocks me anymore. I'm actually shocked about this because, you know, it's just so brazen to be essentially, it would be like a company that, you know, is a window company, but then on the side, they're paying a bunch of thugs to go throw rocks through your window. So they are the ones creating part of the problem that they claim to be solving, and it just couldn't happen to a nicer group of people. Honestly, I have such contempt for the SPLC. I have for years. It's personal for me. It's personal for Turning Point USA. So it's shocking, and I really hope they get their comeuppance. It's important that their influence is destroyed here because they've caused exceedingly large amounts of damage across the conservative ecosystem, but the country as a whole.
Yeah, what was the reaction like within Turning Point and the Turning Point family emotionally for people who had been smeared as white supremacists by these people, only to find out that they were actually giving millions of dollars to actual white supremacists?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, as you might expect, Batya. I mean, we've all been really enjoying the fact that this is coming to light. You know, we knew that the SPLC was corrupt. We knew that they were deranged. We knew that they were a bunch of things. But, you know, engaging in donor fraud, engaging in wire fraud, you know, I'm so grateful for the DOJ, the Trump DOJ, to be on the offensive on this. It's so critically important. But then, as you mentioned, the Turning Point family, I remember when Charlie realized that we had been put on their quote-unquote hate map back in May of 2025. And his first instinct was to be worried about our students. You know, if you've met our students, these are just the most wonderful kids. Most of them are Christian faithful kids. They're reasonable, they're conscientious, they're thoughtful, they care about the country. These are not hateful people. These are not people that are white supremacists. These are kids that care about their country and the future of the country. And so he was worried about their well-being. And, you know, it's such a tragic turn of events, Batya, is that 4 months after being put on this hate map, this quote-unquote hate map, you know, Charlie was murdered, assassinated by someone who said some hate just can't be negotiated out. And it's not lost on me that it's exactly these types of groups that gin up and manufacture fake hate that you know, are implicated in Charlie's assassination. It breaks my heart for the country, and breaks my heart for Charlie and Erica, but you know, they deserve every bit of accountability that's coming their way.
What do you think Charlie would have said in a moment like this?
You know, I try not to put words in Charlie's mouth. You know, he's not with us, but I can tell you that he himself called the SPLC a hate group. He himself called it a husk of its former self, that it had spent down its formerly proud inheritance from the civil rights era, and it basically clowned itself over and over again by, you know, we talked about there was a supply and demand problem in this country with racism and hate, as they would define it. There's just not enough to satisfy the donors and the gullible left that the SPLC was playing all these years. And you know, so what did they have to do? They had to go create more, and then they had to expand the circle to include mainstream conservative groups like Turning Point USA and our students, because there just wasn't enough of the bad guys that they wanted to go around, you know. And so it's tragic, but I think Charlie would be very happy. I definitely think Charlie would be very happy. I think he'd be very proud of this DOJ for again going on the offense and exposing something that the American people really need to know about. And by the way, I would just say that this to the donors that were hoodwinked, whether that's J.P. Morgan, whether that's Tim Cook, whether that's the Clooneys, like, get your money back. You have been defrauded by malicious actors.
Point.
And you should get your money back. And by the way, they have an $800 million endowment, Batya. There's plenty of money at the Poverty Palace down in Alabama to go around.
But not plenty of white supremacists or racists, thank God. Andrew Kolvet, God bless and protect you. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.